Item 3.
Item 3, staff emergency items.
All right, I think we will have a presentation from Jim Reed here.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Reed, Executive Director, Department of Public Works. Last night, we activated our Emergency Operations Center, or ECC, Emergency Coordination Center, just a little bit before 4 p.m., and we closed down a little bit after 9:30. During that time frame, as you know, we had a significant weather event. City also activated their ECC about approximately the same time, and we had quite a bit of rain. And just so you know, throughout the week, we're supposed to have rain in the afternoon, just about every afternoon. But the storms won't be as slow moving as the one that we had yesterday. One of the things that we did last night, Manitou evacuated their low-lying areas, opened up an evacuation center on Pawnee, of which they had 2 people use that. Approximately 450 people were evacuated from the lower parts of Manitou yesterday. Support that we're providing last night and that we provide today for Manitou, El Paso County has a loader, a tractor, and for Green Mountain Falls, we sent up a loader and a tractor to clear their roads, and we sent 2 skids, 1 tandem, and 1 excavator to Manitou Springs to help them out. The guys did work till midnight last night and then started early this morning to start doing that again. One of the significant events that we had was Old Pueblo Road. We had a culvert that washed out. And do you have those pictures, Blake? Where are those at? I don't know if you can see that or not. The culvert was significant enough that it swallowed up 2 cars. We had 2 cars. There you go. We had 2 cars fall into that culvert last night. They called Hanover or 911 for assistance. Hanover Fire responded. Visibility was pretty much zero, and the fire truck consequently ran over the top of the cars and itself hit a sudden stop. This is the size of the culvert. Next slide. There's the fire truck. Both firemen are in the hospital at this time. One is undergoing surgery as we speak. Next slide. Next one. The driver of this particular vehicle was flighted out by life. I understand that person's doing very well. The second vehicle, the individual driving that vehicle disembarked, and we don't know where that person's at. They left the scene, so we're not sure where they're at. And that's water. It started out as a hazmat because we had fuel from the vehicles in the water, and that was approximately 3 o'clock this morning. I have a couple damage assessment teams out right now. Just so you know, Green Mountain Falls, I believe, tentatively have lost 2 bridges, one to their Public Works Department and one on the western side of town. And Colorado Avenue obviously is under construction. There's been a lot of water. We don't know the damage or the extent of the damage of that at this time. And that's what I have for you. Are there any questions I can answer?
Any questions? Commissioner Vanderwerf. No, not a question. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say thanks to you and the team that was out there. Wow, what a pretty scary event. For those of us that were driving around, and I was heading off to somewhere and started to drive into that storm, I turned around and went back because it was pretty scary. So thanks for being out. Yeah. And my prayers to the those that have been hurt, and I hope we don't have too much damage on West Colorado Avenue because that's a tough, complicated project.
It is, and the water that was flowing through there was pretty significant, Commissioner,
Yeah.
so we'll just keep our fingers crossed and
Thanks.
hope everything helps.
Commissioner Waller.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't quite hear it, but what road is this again?
This is Old Pueblo Road in Hanover. It's between Birdsall, I think it's south of Birdsall. It's just as you get over the tracks in that area. Yeah.
How long is it going to be closed, do we think?
That's a good question. I don't know, Commissioner, if we have the culvert, I believe, is 48 inches. And I don't know if we have a culvert that size in the yard. We'll have to find out, but it won't take long to get that. Probably through the end of the week, I think it'll be closed. We're going to have to, it's pretty wet down there now. It has to be cleaned up. And then if you look at the road itself, the pavement, so it'll probably be through the end of the week. It'll be closed for a good week.
But you'll be able to get it back up and run. I mean, to me, as I look at this, it's like, months long, but for up and running in a week. I think that's a good thing. Are there alternate routes available through this area?
On this particular one, there is, but it's quite a ways. What it really impacts is Fire Station 2 for Hanover. They have to go around, so it increases their distance. I would tell you to never underestimate the crew at DPW. When they set their mind to it, they'll get it done for you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Littleton.
Thank you. Thanks again for all the notifications that you guys sent out for the Emergency Operations Center last night, keeping us informed, so that if we had citizens that were calling or, just wanted to be engaged, then we were well informed ourselves. Also, just as a reminder to citizens, while we had, I know the alerts were coming in on our phones, right? Tornado warning, flash flood. We can't afford to not always be prepared. We don't know whether our house or our life is going to be in danger. To go around, just a reminder to citizens to go around, take pictures of everything in your house, open drawers, make sure that you can account for everything within your home so that if you need to file a claim, you've got a record of that. Have it somewhere that is either on the cloud or on a thumb drive that's with you at all times, because if you need to evacuate from your home for any reason, and or your home is destroyed while you are evacuated, you have that record. It was really interesting watching last night, seeing, a foot of hail as people were shoveling hail over on the west side and up through the Cascade and through Teller County. Who would ever expect in the middle, end of July, that we'd see that kind of weather in Colorado? But we always have to continue to be prepared. We can't ever let our guard down. Thanks.
Right.
Okay. Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yeah, just a quick question about Manitou. I was on the phone, as you know, because we were talking with the mayor, Ken Giray, making sure that they were in good shape. And he had told me at that time that none of the water coming down Ute Pass had topped over any of the roads. All the culverts, all of the expense from the Waldo Canyon fire to kind of better manage that water, at least in the Manitou Springs area, it seemed to be working. So my question to you, is that what you believe was true, that all the work we put in there did its job and none of it failed?
Absolutely.
That's excellent.
Without a doubt. I mean, the work that we've put in over the last, how many years has it been now? 7 years?
Yeah, and it's been millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. CDOT has put in millions of dollars to on there, as well as a good partner to the community. And there's been a lot of work done for that as a result of the Waldo Canyon fire. One of the things I think that was good last night, and what I appreciate from this board, is your accessibility. It was easy to get a hold of Mr. Yankowski. I kept him pretty busy for a while, and yourself. I was able to get a hold of you, Mr. President, and Commissioner Gonzalez, who I think was in Canada or somewhere. And I got a hold of him and was able to do that. So, and we were able to add your mayor to the Ready Op just like that. So we were able to get information out to everybody. Kudos to the staff. And the other thing I appreciate is that we didn't have the equipment that Manitou was asking for, all of it. We called the city, and boy, they ponied up almost immediately to help out. And I think a lot of their drainage held as well. So I think in partnership, it worked really well. And the staff did a good job. It's just been a long night. So and we've got quite a bit going on today. Your county engineer, your recovery manager, Cindy Casero, along with regional building, Steve Schleicher, all those folks are out there. I think Tom Gonzalez is out there from Health Department, and they're all doing the damage assessment right now. And so a large portion of the county, it's going to take them a while. We are 2,300 square miles, and so there's a lot of county to look at. And Commissioner Waller, I'm glad that your culvert out there held after we did quite a bit of work in there as well. Any other questions that I can answer?
Any other questions? Great, thank you very much. Since we're on the subject, Brian, do you want to come on down
Thank
too?
you.
Because we had some.
Good morning, President Glenn. Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Olson, Executive Director for Facilities and Strategic Infrastructure Management. We did have some flooding. I'm glad to say that it wasn't nearly as significant as you saw on Old Pueblo Road, but we did have some flooding in facilities throughout the county. We had some flooding at the Fountain Creek Nature Center. The basements got quite a bit of water, but most significantly, and I have some pictures, I don't know where. So a lot of the water came downtown, and let's see. So what you're seeing here is the Metro Sallyport. There was over a foot of water that actually came down in the Sallyport, and the big cause for that really was for debris and the amount of hail that came in. It plugged the floor drains, and the drain just couldn't keep up, and the sump pumps just couldn't keep up with the amount of water that came through. So, oops. Let's see. It's again here. So our staff was on site pretty quick last night. Luckily, it happened right before they were about to go home, so they were still around. So, but you can see some of the pictures here where the amount of water that's down there. So, we have staff still. That didn't come through very clear, but you can see the amount of hail that was down there in the Sallyport in the basement. And there's you can see where that's the drain driving into the Sallyport. You can see part of the reasons why we had so much flooding. The drains were not effective. But we had windows were leaking. We had some roofs were leaking downtown, but we're assessing damages still throughout the county, but nothing really significant. And as an update from the last storm, we're still working on the hailstorm. We're still working with the insurance companies, trying to figure out what we're going to get back on those as well. So, if you have any questions.
Commissioner Waller.
Thank you, Mr. President. So is the sheriff's office able to use the Sallyport this morning, or do they have to do some other alternative transfer methods?
It'll be functioning this morning. They're down there finishing the debris cleanup, but the water's out. So it is functioning this morning. They should be fine. Yes, sir.
So there wasn't any other sort of damage, so, none of the electronics and the
No, and, mechanical room is
doors and
down there,
things.
but it's all concrete, so we're pretty lucky in that respect.
Excellent.
Any other questions? Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, commissioners.